Okay, so how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody's awesome? Ready for the full moon? Are we ready to manifest? It's a sturgeon moon. Does everybody know that? Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. So certain people are having more effect by the full moon than others. So I'll just share that. So, is anybody new to intuitive work? And if you are, put it in the chats. And also, hey, Susan. And if you also have anybody who needs prayers or is really struggling right now, put their name in the chat because we're going to save the chat later. I pray for everybody in the chat. If there's questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. The girls in their community will help us and answer questions for us. If anyone is really stuck and doesn't know the answer, just message me or let me know and I will address that question later on. So who here did their tapping as well? Did anybody do the intuitive tapping that Miss Kylie here helped us with? She taught this class for us. So who here did tapping? Raise your hand. Yeah, awesome. Did everybody have amazing results? Yeah. If you haven't done the tapping, you definitely have to check it out. It's definitely worth checking.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Definitely awesome.
Yes.
Sweet. So does anybody
I got the replay.
Share your number, what you were when you started, and then where you ended up.
To be honest with you, I don't remember. I did it like right after it came out, but my number went down pretty significantly.
Okay. Anybody else want to share? Anybody know? So in the tapping, there's the first part is about anxiety and different things that you can let go of. And Kylie was so kind to do a masterclass with us, and we shared it. It was our first one. And the second part is developing your intuition and mediumistic abilities, psychic abilities. And medium stuff is not scary. Just so people know, if you're new to intuition, the word medium scares people. Tiffany, I love your clip. That's awesome. Spirit loves when you laugh. The more we laugh like that, the more we lift the vibration. There's nothing scary that's going to happen here. I know you can't see back on my shelf, but I have big old Jesus back here. So, it's all done in God's light and love. There's nothing to fear. We all have intuition, and we're going to go into a lot of different things. I have a lot to share with you. We're going to keep it simple because that's what Spirit said. Keep it simple, sweetheart. So we're going to do that. Anything I forget, you know what? I have notes all over the place here, but I thought if I forget anything, I'm going to send you a follow-up email. I will share it all with you if there's something I forgot that's really important. I think we're ready to start here. So let's get going. Anybody who needs to put prayers, make sure you pop them in. I did take off the doorbell, so if anybody pops in, we won't hear them now. Thank you, Lord. Figured out how to do that. And so anybody can pop in with us at any time. It is great if they get here on time. There will be an encore presentation. I will be sharing that later. And so tonight I want to share with you guys a couple things. So you will see me looking around here because I have notes everywhere and I don't want to forget the major points. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for showing up here and being live with me, because the energy, when we raise our vibration, Spirit can then, come in with us and just make things even more fun. You may start to feel chills as we're doing this because it's really a normal thing to experience that. Sometimes you'll feel like just different energies or just be aware of what's going on in your body. And keep the prayers coming in, and we'll definitely go through and do some prayers for everyone. So just be aware of your body, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of things that maybe you're noticing. There's no right and wrong. Nothing can be done right or wrong. It's just what it is. It's just an awareness. That's what we're doing, is cultivating an awareness. I'm going to just mute everybody. If you have a question, raise your hand or write in the chat. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Irene, nice to see you. Hey. First of all, I want to say thank you. I want to welcome all of you. Intuition is a way to tune in and express our feelings in really creative ways. And that's what, you were guided here for a reason. So Spirit drew you here. There are no accidents. Everything happens the way it's supposed to be. Who here has never done anything with intuitive work before? Raise your hand. If you're brand new to intuition work, okay. Perfect. All right. So we'll probably have a few people that are brand new. It's totally fine. Nothing wrong with being a beginner. This is your permission slip to be a beginner. Today's message was be scared and do it anyway. So I congratulate you for moving past any fears that maybe held you back, and just that you came into this community to show up and just be part of this, which is awesome. So thank you. First, I wanted to share, when I was putting all this together, Spirit came in and was guiding me to pull a message through this book, and it was express your feelings in creative ways. And that's really what our intuition does. It helps us to tap into what we're feeling, what we're sensing, what we're knowing, what we see, using all those senses that, they're kind of our psychic superpowers, if you think about it, or our strengths. And it's just a great way to be able to tap into all that. So Before we begin any of this, I want to start with a prayer, but I also want to go into a place of gratitude, because that's always a great way to start stuff, and it just connects us all from the heart. So let's just all take a nice deep breath, close our eyes. I'm just going to hit the bell and bring us into a nice still place. So just kind of take a breath and clear your mind. And just listen to the bell and allow yourself to go wherever it is in your mind. Allow your mind to now fall down into your heart. Just see your mind dropping down into your heart space, and just take a breath. Follow your breath down into your heart space. And in that beautiful heart space, I just want you to just be aware of any sounds you hear, any things that you experience. Just be aware of your body and all that you feel. And just breathe. Just know when you lose your mind, you find yourself. So just take a breath, allow your mind to just go away. It's not going to leave forever. It will come back when it needs to. But right now, we're just going into following the breath. So if you get lost, you can just go into the breath. Anytime you ever meditate, if you're struggling, just always follow your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can bring your hands up to your heart in prayer position, or you can put your hand over your heart. And just think of something right now that you are truly grateful for today. Something that is happening, either being here in this class, something maybe that happened today that you're super grateful for, or maybe something that hasn't even happened yet that you're just excited about and grateful for the experience or the offer to come in for you. So just take a breath and allow that to permeate through your energy field, and allow that to just expand through your body. See us all connected in this beautiful circle. See us all holding hands, holding space for each other, safe space, where what happens here in the circle stays here in the circle. We can share it, but we're not going to share anybody's personal experiences if anything personal should come about. So you're just going to allow space to fill up here inside of our being with gratitude, happiness. Just imagine we're being grateful for all the people in this circle, all the angels as they step in with us. You may start to feel the energy. It's a little tingly sometimes. You might feel it around your back because they're starting to come in on the sides of your arms. You may even feel them a little bit in front of you. And just be aware of what you feel. There's no right and wrong. And just take a breath. And just again, dropping down into the heart even a little bit more. Allow the mind to fall away. And this is just going to anchor you into the heart. And just imagine your energy dropping down a little bit further, not quite into your stomach, but just a little below the heart and just above the stomach, somewhere in that area. And just see this beautiful multifaceted diamond and see it start to emanate outwards. This is actually the seat of your soul. And you want to just see this start to expand. And it may be in a different area for you, but it'll be in a similar type of area. Just allow it to expand and see it emanating out through your entire being. So out through your arms, your hands, up through the top of your head. It moves very quickly. So just start to imagine it. You can feel it, you can see it, sense it, know it. See it going through your entire trunk of your body, the front, the back, all the way down your legs, down to your feet, anchoring you to the earth. And I just want you to imagine the energy now shooting up to the top of your head and a beautiful lotus flower at the top of your crown opening up. And as it does, the most beautiful, sparkly white light from the heavens pours down in from the angelic realm, from the spirit world, from God, from the universe, whatever it is for you that is your connection to source. Just allow that energy to come in and act like a battery to recharge you if you've been going through anything that's been difficult, if you've been struggling with anything, or maybe you need a little extra support or some healing. Call in the angels to pray for all the people on our chat that need prayer. All the people here in this circle that are present. And all of our loved ones that we are thinking about, or family and friends, anyone who is going through a challenging time, may we send them love and light just by thinking of them from our heart center. And just allow yourself to be charged up now for just a moment or so, and just feel what the spark of your soul's divinity feels like. And just take a breath in this area and just experience it. Breathe in and breathe out. And just allow that energy to move through your body in whatever way it needs to. And just continue to breathe. Just take a nice deep breath in through your nose, cleansing breath, and then release out through your mouth all that no longer serves. And then when you're ready, I want you to put your hands together and ask your angels, since they are stepping in very closely, just put your hands out in the receiving position in front of your body, like you're receiving something from the spirit world. And just ask them to hand something into your hands that is from the angelic realm for you, as a gift for you that will help you move forward in your intuitive development. Whatever that is for you, just see it. You may hear it, you may sense it, feel it, or know it. Just be aware of whatever comes into your hands. Even if you feel like you're making it up, just allow something to plop down into your hands. And you may just feel a color, you may sense something, it might not be as clear as what you'd like it to be. Just allow whatever comes to you. And once you've received it, bring your hands to your heart in prayer position, just in gratitude. And if you didn't receive anything, it's okay. When you're ready, just bring your hands to your heart, take a breath, and just be grateful for the opportunity that you are experiencing everything that you need. And things will come at the right time. They may come tonight in your sleep. So just allow that energy to come forward. Take a breath. We ask to be surrounded in light and love. Archangel Michael, we ask that you oversee this message work we do tonight, anything we share in this class for intuitive development with the angels. And we just ask that everyone feels supported and guided, and there are no silly questions. So we just set everybody's intention to be for the highest and best good. In Jesus' name, amen. When you are ready, you can slowly wiggle your fingers and toes and just bring yourself back. That was just a little bit of an alignment, just to kind of bring us back all into balance. If anyone wants to unmute and share what they received in their hands, that's awesome. If not, that's totally fine. It's really cool. There's nothing silly. Go ahead, Linda.
I was handed a book and I realized, first it looked like just a black cover, but it was my grandmother's Bible, which I actually have in another room here. But yeah.
Beautiful.
So I will have to bring out that Bible too.
There you go. I love it. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Did anyone else see anything or feel anything or sense anything in their hands? A weight or anything? Susan.
The word knowing came, and it was very heavy, so I don't.
Interesting.
It's very heavy.
Interesting. So it's a very strong knowing. So just because it's heavy doesn't mean it's negative. People think heaviness is negative. Sometimes when you hear heavy, it could just be it's a strong knowing. That's the feeling I get. So very interesting. So that's awesome. So you probably have that strong sense. So we're going to go through a lot of different things. I just want to touch on a few things. So thank you for sharing about the creative ways of expressing our feelings and creative ways of knowing. This whole thing is about expressing feelings, allowing myself to have fun. So that's what this is all about. Just have a good time tonight, right? And give yourself permission to play. Be like a child at heart. Because think about it. Little children are like, they have the most fun. They're the most intuitive too. If you think of who here has little ones, anybody here have little ones, like little ones, or have had little ones that were at least 7? Okay, a couple people. So what's interesting is little kids are like very intuitive. Some of them are almost even mediums because they are just so connected to the spirit world until they hit about the age of 7. And then things start to shift and they're told it's not true. And, you know, back in my day, they were told it wasn't true and it was, you know, you just didn't nurture that. But today, there's so many children out there who are, they call them the indigos. They have these big eyes. They have really wide eyes and really deep set in their big eyes. And there's like the rainbow children, there's the indigos, but they are so connected. And if you pay attention to little kids, here's just a little something. When they share with you that they see grandmom so-and-so and you're like, no, or maybe they're seeing an imaginary person and you're like, really? Like you could nurture that instead of telling them it's not real. Really nurturing that would actually help them to develop further into being a better version of themselves from a young age. I wish somebody would have done that for me, but I didn't have that back then. When little kids sense that, and a great way to nurture that is instead of asking like, oh, well, did grandmom so-and-so look like this? Because then you're feeding the children. It's almost like you don't want to feed the medium. You don't want to feed the child either. You want to kind of ask open-ended questions. So you can always say to them, hey, listen, you know, what do they look like? Can you describe them to me? And let them tell you. And then you might go, oh my God, she's seeing my grandmother. You know what I mean? And that's kind of neat because they're your little mediums or your little intuitives. And it's like, as we get older, we kind of close that down. And really that's all intuition is I have chills, opening it back up. So you guys might get chills too. And that's the spirit world stepping in. The other thing that came up were a couple cards came up. And I think this is important to share before we really get going. Spirit had me guided me to pull a couple cards, and the cards were forgiveness, trust, and relax. And so think about this. Sometimes we beat ourselves up because we didn't do something we thought we should do in whatever form that is. But holding on to anything in the past is only hurting us. So good way to let anything go, whether you have judgment, maybe somebody's judging you for taking this class. Because I know a lot of people are really scared when it comes to intuition. Maybe you're judging yourself for different things you've done in your life or whatever, or maybe someone has hurt you. Just see if you can let that go. Be like a little kid. Again, it all comes back to being like a little kid. You know, I'm personally like a 5-year-old in an adult body. So hopefully you all are too, because that's how life is fun. That's why I love to ride my bike. But forgiveness is a really good one. Again, permission slip being in this class tonight to just be you and be bold and authentic and true to yourself and just be multifaceted you. Trust everything that you do feel tonight. Trust is really important because a lot of times you'll feel like you're making stuff up. And in the beginning, it's really normal to feel like you're making things up. You're not. You totally are feeling things. You're experiencing things. You might leave this class tonight and go, oh, wow, I'm still feeling things. Nothing scary is going to get you. Not like that, just so everyone is clear, because I've talked to so many people who are just really beginners and there is a lot of fear involved. And I want to clarify that is something that is, it's just not true. Fear is really false evidence that appears real. It's just not true. The best thing to get rid of fear is love. If you put love at anything scary, this is a great thing if you're stuck somewhere and in your life and you want to move forward. This is just a great little side tip. Whatever you're afraid of, you can say, I am scared to death I was really nervous to do this class. I'm going to tell you, I haven't done a live class in a long time. And I was like, oh my God, like we teach in the community, but like to be in front of all these new people who I don't know, there was a little trepidation. I was like, oh God, I'm nervous. But I'm like, okay, stop getting anxious. What is wrong with you? And you may have been anxious too. Maybe I was feeling all of you because when I go to do a reading, I feel my people sometimes before we even connect. But here's the thing, when you're feeling like that and you're just like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. She's calling on me, blah, 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 and it's like, all you have to do is say, I'm really nervous about this. And I love that. And you can even put your hand on your heart. I'm really nervous about this. And I love that. I'm scared to teach tonight. And I love that. The more you say that, the more you own that, you become yourself. You become the multifaceted version of you that you came here to be. It's so true. And so really trust whatever's coming in for you, whatever you're feeling. You'll know in here. You get that gut feeling, you just know something's right. Who here has those gut feelings where you just know something's right? Anybody ever had that before where you're doing, say, so many? Okay, got a lot of people knowing. This is awesome. And then the last one is relax. And I'm not even going to read the meanings because I think it's basic. You understand it. You just have to let go. When when I had all this planned, I was like, oh my God, I have to get everything right. And I thought, no, you don't. Just have fun. It's really just having fun. And they just kept bringing it back to that. And they wanted me to share it with you as well. And I just heard, you know what? Just let it all go. And my card right before I started was surrender. So I share that with all of you. Just surrender and have fun tonight. So that's what this is about. First card in the book I believe the number, when I brought it down in numerology, and some of you may or may not know about numerology, but subtract the numbers down to a single number to get a single digit. And from that single digit, it came down to a 6, which is all about love and ability to support, nurture, and heal and compassion and using empathy, right? Who here is empathic, right? I think we all are. We're here, we're empathic, right? Everyone needs a number 6 person in their life. And so has anyone ever had their numerology chart done? Okay, so I have 2. I'm a life 6, which if you ever want to get it done, I have some really cool people who I could hook you up with that would help you. It's neat to find out about yourself. And so a life path 6 is someone who is all those things: nurturing, compassionate, supportive. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Everybody needs a 6 person in their life. I want to share about 6s. It's all about relationships. And I thought, interesting. Are opening this today on the 10th, and then on the 15th, we're going to be opening something else, which when you pull it together in numerology, comes down to a 6. Today would be new beginnings because it's a 1. 1 and 0 is 1. And then the 5 and 1 would be a 6. So it brings it into relationships. And that's what 6s are all about: relationships and nurturing and love. So I thought that was important to share as well. Have you guys ever heard of the man who tried to weigh the soul? Have you heard of that? So there was a man who actually, so we have a soul, right? We all have this soul. And, years ago, they didn't believe animals had souls. I thought that interesting. I'm like, seriously? Wow, that's the saddest thing. Like around the 1900s, they actually thought only humans had souls, which now we know is definitely not true. But this man tried to weigh the soul, and his name was Dr. Duncan McDougall, and he was from the 1900s. And people thought he was crazy, but he actually did. He tested people who were in nursing homes, I believe, very close to death and close to dying, and most of them were so they weren't very active. So he could actually measure the body because they were still and kind of a little comatose. They passed. He was able to study them and realize that when he weighed the body before and after the passing, the soul, he came to the conclusion of, weighed 3/4 of a pound or 21 grams. So I thought that was quite interesting. I thought, wow, that's neat. I had heard of this years ago. I think this was like in 1907 or 1910. And then in 1991, I believe they did it again. And so many people still, will doubt that, but it is very true. And there's a lot of information out there on the internet you can read. What you read on the internet, take it with a grain of salt. It's someone's opinion. So take what you can, leave the rest. If something makes sense to you, you can check it out and find out about it. It's pretty neat. I also wanted to share with you, I am a medium, as you know, or maybe don't know, actually an intuitive as well. And so when we do this type of work with our intuition and our soul and all different kind of work, when we're tuning in with angels and spirit, just another interesting facet of our bodies, right? When we pass to the spirit world, we leave out the right side of the brain. It's usually the right side of the brain and up. And what's really cool is they've taken pictures, and I was trying to find one, but I couldn't find the exact one I wanted to share. But they actually have photographed this where they can see the soul leaving. And I just thought it was something neat to share. Last thing to go, if you're ever with someone who is crossing over, we are very intuitive people, and we know things that we know, and sometimes we feel things, or we're connected in different ways. When someone is crossing over, hearing is the last thing to go. So make sure you tell the people that you love them. You feel free to pray over someone. They will hear you. Really important thing. I think that, no one ever dies alone, just so people know that. And love never dies. Love just keeps on turning into more and more love. It just transforms. So it's a beautiful way to stay connected. It's just another facet of your intuition. We're going to go in and we're going to do some work with the angels. We're going to be sharing some intuitive soul tips. We're going to take you through another meditation or so, spiritual tools that you can use. I'm going to be giving you some resources, and we're going to be sharing a little bit about our Multifaceted Soul Society, which is our community. Membership community. Oh, my papers just fell on the floor. Spirit's been dropping things in here all day today. I was like, okay, what is that? So we're going to be also sharing about the community. If you stay till the end, we're going to have bonuses, giveaways, and all kinds of goodies. If you didn't see the email that went out, there's also a contest. If you share and hashtag, whether during, after, before, whenever, if you share this, I am giving away a bonus box of blessing cards, which are awesome. These are awesome little angel cards that are kind of like a little blessing that you can pick one every day. I love them. I have a little box over here, and someone gave them to me as a gift, and I thought, you know what, I want to gift them and pay them forward because I love to give things away. And if you're brave tonight and some sharing, or maybe we'll have also give away some Brave, which is an amazing essential oil for anyone who is stepping into their awesomeness of being multifaceted in their beautiful soul and their self. So we'll have an encore presentation recording. You can watch it. All the links will be in there. Work with the spirit world, with the angels, with souls, right? We're all energy. And energy is really interesting. So I want you to imagine, energy can be created. It doesn't get destroyed. It just changes form. And that's like when we cross over, it just transfers over to a different shape or a different energy. Ones can be everywhere. Angels can be everywhere. So you can just be tuning into all of that. And who here feels angels, is aware of spirit, and is really connected? Who here feels like they're very connected? Just raise your hand for me. Okay. Who here feels like, oh my gosh, I feel things, but I don't really understand what I'm feeling? Okay, we got one. Okay, couple, two. Okay. So we have a little bit of a mix, which is great. I think it's important to know that. So we are all energy, and think of it like this. I went to a class years ago, and this really struck with me, and I have an ice cube, right? So if you think of an ice cube, that's us, right? We're this dense energy that is like the ice cube. And if you put it in a frying pan and you turn up the heat a little, it starts to cook, right? And it just starts to evaporate, and it shrinks down to just water, right? So that's kind of like, our energy is kind of dense and heavy. Spirit's energy is very light, whether it's the angels, the spirit world, our loved ones who've crossed over, but they vibrate very fast. That's why we really don't see them. The angels, you don't usually see them, but they're there. You have a feeling, you just get that, kind of just feel what's coming in. And the water then starts to evaporate, it turns to steam, right? And then what the steam do? It rises. So it's like connecting. It can be anywhere, and it can just go back into the atmosphere and be all over the place, just like the spirit world and like the angels and like our loved ones. And so I want you to imagine, when I do a reading, I just want to give you an example so you kind of understand how it works, either with spirit world, with mediumship, or with being intuitive and just feeling things, or maybe even just trying to connect with your loved ones. Because I don't know about you, but I love connecting with people who have crossed over, because to know love never dies and you're not alone is an awesome feeling. Because honestly, no one needs a medium. We go to mediums because we want to validate what we already received, because we already get stuff. We don't know how to validate it. So that's really what a medium does. They're the mediator. They're the middleman who brings through the spirit world. So think of yourself as here. The medium, myself, would be here, and the spirit world is up here, whether it's the angels, your loved ones, whoever that is for you that you want to connect with. And so, or even your soul resides a little above you as well. It's here, but it kind of moves up. It kind of is above you a little bit. You want to imagine that. And so when you are, again, the heavy energy of us being down here, spirit energy up here, in order for them to come down and really connect with us, we have to raise our vibration. They have to lower theirs. And then we meet in the middle. And when we meet in the middle, that's when that connection is made. And that's when you feel your psychic senses. That's when you start to know things. You start to get these intuitive hits, because basically what you're doing is you're just turning up the dial on your intuition, right? And so really that's all it is. It happens all day long, but half the time you're just in la la land and you're not paying attention. You're going about your day because you're in the mind instead of down in the heart. And how we did in that meditation where we just dropped into the heart, it's that easy to just drop down into the heart, which is really cool. Nothing scary. Like I said, if you haven't had a chance to go to the Facebook group, make sure you go in there. And I would love, if anybody is fearful, or if you know anyone who is, to share that community with them. It's free, but we did a live the other day, and I shared an amazing story from one of my clients who had just an incredible experience, was so fearful, and then was able to shift out of that, because so many people, there's just a lot of fear involved with tapping into your intuition. Angels not so much, but it's like when you talk about mediumship, people get freaked. So I just like to explain that. Okay, so how to feel the soul. I'm going to teach you 4 different ways to connect in with your soul. One of the ways, this is really cool. So I want you to take your hand, just take a deep breath for a minute and drop back down from your head into your heart. Get out of the logical thinking brain and drop into the heart. And just take your hand. You can open your eyes for a minute when you're ready. Just, you just want to get down to that space where you can easily just think your heart, and you'll go right into that place. And I want you to take your hand and just kind of scan through your body. You can kind of just scan over, and you'll kind of feel where your soul is. And it's right below. It's usually right in this area, but it might be lower. It might be above. So just kind of feel for it. And it'll feel like a heavy, sort of dense energy behind your hand. And if you're not a feeler, maybe you see it. Maybe you are, you know, having the psychic sense of seeing. Maybe you pull your hand down and you hear right there, right? You might hear a voice. So be aware of what you're attuning to, what you're feeling. When you get it, you'll kind of feel where it's at. It's kind of like a heavier sort of energy. Is everybody sort of feeling that, or are they kind of like, not really? Because I want to make sure. Okay, perfect. I love that you're not, Irene, and that I'm going to share something with you. Everybody rub your hands together. We're gonna do a little energy work here so we can really feel this energy. So rubbing your hands together really create some friction. When you start really feeling that friction going on, we're gonna pull our hands apart and then start to bring them back, but do not touch. Okay, so you want to bring them back and do it slowly, and you start to feel that tingliness in between your hands. Do you guys feel that? And you can pull them out and pull them in. Just don't touch whatever you do because it'll ground it off the energy. So you want to pull it out and pull it in. And then you can start to almost make a ball. So you can imagine a ball of energy in here. I was going to do this a little later, but we'll do it now. So we're going to make this ball of energy, and just think of somewhere in your body that is feeling, besides like your arm or anything like that, something you could wrap both hands around. Maybe your head if you have a headache, or your neck or shoulders, your knee, ankle, foot, something like that. So you want to make this ball of energy and just keep moving it in and out, and imagine it. Use your senses the way you would use them. Like, okay, so I can see a ball of energy. I'm going to make pretend. And our imagination is the biggest part of our senses, right? So if you are like a little kid, you can imagine anything. Think back to when you were a kid. Imagine this ball of energy. Imagine it as a ball of light, and just see it expanding. And even if you don't see it, just imagine it. You might want to close your eyes, whatever's easier, and just keep your hands moving and create that ball of energy. And you can bring them out and in. You might feel the tinglies in there, and you'll see as you get closer, it almost feels like magnets. And it's like your hands want to touch, but then they almost repel each other. So you're kind of pulling that energy out and in, and just keep seeing it growing and getting bigger and bigger. And if you need to close your eyes and go into your heart and breathe through this to expand it, just imagine that energy in your soul where we were imagining earlier, where we're expanding that light out. And as we do, you can feel that in your hands. You might start to feel that tingliness come back again. And it's just a very, very light feeling, like someone stepping up behind you in the food store. It's so subtle. You might think, well, I'm not feeling anything. It is so subtle. You have to just be really aware. So just kind of feel. And if you don't feel it, just pretend that you're feeling it, because you're going to still be getting it whether you're doing it or not. And then when you feel like you've built up some nice energy there, think of where you have some pain. If you are struggling maybe on your neck or your foot, I'm going to show you on my neck. So then you would just open your hands, slowly pull that energy apart. You can really feel that energy coming apart, and then just bring it back and put it around your neck, and just kind of, you can move it from side to side, and you will actually feel that in your neck. So if you have like a stiff neck, or you've been doing one of these on the computer, it's just a great way to loosen the energy. It's a type of energy healing. You could just you're just moving your own energy, which is pretty cool. You could do it over your foot, whatever works. I will share this little tip with you. If you ever have a headache, you can, it's a polarity exercise. You can, I don't know if it's right or left, but I do my right hand on my forehead and my left hand under the back of my occipital bone right here. And you can just hold this energy, breathe through it, and it will actually get rid of a headache. It works really, really well because you're doing the polarity of your body. So just breathe that in. It's a great way to de-stress as well. So it's just one hand behind that bone on your the occipital bone there in the back of your head, where it dents into your neck, and right on the top of your forehead. And just breathe that in. It feels very soothing. It's very calming. And just breathe it in and release anything that's been stress or tension in your brain. When you're ready, you can bring it down and let it go. You can shake it out, and then you can bring your hands back together, and you can actually feel how it grounds when you touch. It's a really cool feeling. It just kind of brings it together. And that's just one way to tap into the energy. So now when you go through, now that you've felt that, you understand what that feels like. So now scroll through your body again, scan through, and just ask your body, where is your soul? Have it show you your soul. So you can feel through and see what you see what you hear, see what you sense, or what you know. We're just going to use those senses for now. And you might want to come a little closer to your body if your soul is kind of pulled in. If you're scared, you just come a little closer without touching. And you'll just sort of feel, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be right between your, under your heart, but above your belly, above your belly button. So it's somewhere in that area and you'll feel it. It's kind of like a dense sort of energy, or it might be a warmth. You might feel a warmth there. So that's one way. Okay. The other way is you could sit in the power meditation, which is what we kind of did earlier, just kind of going in to find your soul, drop down into your heart, you go into your soul, and you just see it expanding through your body and expanding all directions, right? That's just another way to do that. You can also follow your breath by dropping from the head into the heart. These are just really easy ways to do this, right? And so when you're tuning into your intuition, you can use it in all facets of your life. Use it in all different kinds of things. Like, you know, you could use it. I used it in my beauty business from when I was a hairdresser for years. I use it when a client would come in the salon, and I would just intuitively, like, I knew what they needed before they knew what they needed. Like, I knew their emotion, I could feel it. And I knew how to communicate with them. It helped me just better understand them and what they needed at that time. Maybe you're working with somebody in your business or whatever you do for a living, and maybe that you have a difficult person you work with. Just tune into that intuition and ask your soul, how's the best way for me to work with these people? And you might get an intuitive, what I call a hit, where you'll get a feeling or you'll get a knowing, or it's something that you're just like, wow. And just like coming to this class, you knew you had to be here for some reason. Maybe you didn't even know why you're here. You're just here. And so that's an intuitive hit or an intuitive knowing. And you either know it, you see it, you feel it, you sense it. There's 8 clairs. These are called clairs. We'll get into them in a little bit. But that is just another way to be able to use your intuition. The way you can tune in with your intuition is I work with essential oils, and we have an amazing one called Intune, which I am a wellness strategist and educator for essential oils. So that is another tool for your toolbox. These are all tools to just be able to tap into your intuition, use them in your body. I'll put links to everything below in the chat, and I'm going to show everybody how to save the chat. Plus, I will be sending you an email with all the links, so not to stress. Everything will be in there. But that is one of the things when I go to do a reading, I love to use an essential oil that is pure, that it's going to help you. I'll apply it and really just awaken my intuition, and it really helps me get tuned in. Even if you're not doing intuitive work, maybe you need to focus, right? I'm going to share some resources too of something I found. It's a mental energizer and a de-stressor. It's a video. The tone is 40 hertz. 40 hertz is really good for seeing your focus, your mood, conscious frequency, cosmic frequencies, conscious frequency. Helps with different tones for focus and awareness. But it's just a nice thing. I was going to play it in the background, and then I was like, wait, if I record this and upload it, then they'll get me as a copyright. So I couldn't do that. So I thought, all right, I'll share it with you guys later. So I'll share the one for you because I researched a lot of them, and I found this one that I really like. I'm going to be sharing all that. So has anyone ever heard their name called? Like out of the blue as you're waking up? Have you ever heard your name? Okay, Susan has. Anybody else? I have. Joanne has. Anybody else? Kat, Tiff, Irene. Okay. And do you know who's calling your name? Anybody? No. Okay. So it's really normal not to know, especially years ago. I had no idea who was calling my name. I would wake up and I would hear Lise Potts. And I'm like, who the hell is the British guy calling my name? Who is this? And it was so loud. It was outside my head. And that is called a direct voice communication when it's outside. Usually when you hear it, we have intuitive like ears in here, and we can hear right here. We don't hear in our regular ears. We hear up here. But when I heard this, it was out here, and he was like, Lise Potts. And I'm like, what? Who is that? And I didn't know who it was until I was in the middle of a reflexology appointment. I'm in this deep relaxation. And I just want to share with everyone that we have this, our soul is connected through, I'm going to kind of jump around for a minute, but our soul is connected through this sparkly silver cord that he told me starts at your navel. I can't do the British accent, but he told me it starts at your navel, and it's what keeps you connected. So when you dream and you're out traveling, every night we dream and we travel. We go visit people. We do healing for people. We help people in our dreams. Has anyone ever had the dream of flying? Anyone ever had the flying dream? Right? Super peaceful. You woke up and you're like, I could have stayed there forever. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Put in the chat where you guys flew to, because I would love to hear it. I went to Holland. I was flying over the tulip fields and I was like, this is incredible. One and only time I've ever dreamt of flying, but it was incredible. I would love to hear in the chat if you guys want to put where you flew to or what your experience was, because it's really neat to hear. When we have that experience, just know that the soul will never detach while you're out traveling and sleeping and going all these different places. Sometimes you'll even get to see into the other spirit worlds, and then you'll be pulled back because of the cord we pass. When we cross over, the cord actually separates, and that's how we are then become spirit. We step into the other realms. Again, love never dies. It just simply transforms, and there is no up here, down here. It's just all here. You know, everyone has different belief systems. I'm not trying to change anybody's belief system, but I believe that, you know, spirit is here. Has anyone ever walked through a room and you feel this cold chill, like you just walked through something, right? Like an energy. So a lot of times that's spirit. And who here has seen something out the corner of their eye, like a shadow, and they're like, oh my God, what the heck was that, right? Who's seen that, right? It scared the living bejesus out of you, right? So that's spirit as well. And so think of the movie Ghost, right? This is the best way I can explain the spirit world, whether it's angels, loved ones, spirit. Think of the movie Ghost, right? So everything in the movie Ghost, from what my guides tell me and what I've understood, is that everything's real except for the part at the end when he's like pulling them, when they're being pulled away by the spooky spirit people. That's Hollywood. That's not real. But when they have to learn how to push the can, you know, like when he's in the subway, if you've seen Ghost, make sure you watch it. It's a good movie. But pushing the can, like they have to learn that. And so the spirit world has to be able to connect with us, but using our intuition, we can tap into that if we want to. You want to connect with the angels? We have free will, but we have to ask them for help. They can't just come in and help us, and they can't change our lives. They will guide us and they will support us. They send us people who will help us moving forward and doing things, but they can't do it for us. So just know that that's part of have free will, and we have to ask for that. So back to meditation is sitting in the power. That was the first. Feeling the soul, going from the head into the heart, and following the breath is the other way to feel the soul. And then some essential oils to tune in. That is a fourth way. So they are just some easy ways for you to just tune in, where if you're, even when you're out somewhere, right? Maybe you could just practice it, like just tune in and be aware, because how often do we, whatever, driving around and a song comes on the radio and something pops in and you're like, oh, reminds me of so-and-so. That might be your loved one actually reaching out, trying to get your attention, but you're so out in La La Land trying to make your dinner list or your grocery list, you're not paying attention. So when you tune into that, you actually can be like, oh, wow, I think that might be my loved one. You know, like something guided you to come here, right? I'm curious if you want to put in the chat, what was it that called you to this class, or what made you realize, wow, I want to be here? You know, what did you want to learn in this class? I would love to hear that as well. So please put that in the chat, because that's going to help me for further classes to understand what people are really looking for you to do that. I'm going to take you guys on another meditation. We're going to go through and we're going to clear all our chakras. Even though we've balanced most of our energy already, I'm going to go through the chakras. They are the colors of the rainbow. So we're going to go through Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, indigo, or indigo violet. And we'll go through all those colors and just be aware of where they are. If you don't know your chakras, I will shout them out as we're going through each one. They're energy centers that go through the front of the body and the back of the body, and they actually are like tubes that come out both sides, and it's where energy shoots out of different areas of your body. And when certain areas are blocked, you tend to get stuck in those areas, like energetically. And so we're going to go in and we're going to just clear and balance anything out, and then we're going to do a fun little exercise. So I just want you guys to nice deep breath. Let's just get to a quiet place again. Just drop from your head into your heart like we were doing earlier. And just allow that energy to come right down in where it needs to be. Just take a breath. Allow that energy to come in. Just see the crown chakra open up again. Still pretty wide. And just see that beautiful sparkling white light coming down. It's like a diamond white light. It's coming down through your entire crown, coming through your entire body, flowing all the way down to your root at the base of your spine. And then it's going to be going down into the earth. And this is grounding you into the earth with love So you're completely connected, completely grounded. And just take a breath in this space. And we're going to see the energy coming back up from the root. And just see the energy coming up through your legs, through your feet, through your knees, to your hips. Now at your hips is the root chakra, and you may see the color red. And I just want you to imagine a dial where you can turn up that color red. It's going to be right at the base of your spine, in the front and the back. And just take that dial and turn it to the right, turn it up a little bit, just enough to open that chakra up for you to really get you grounded to the earth. This will help to release any fears, doubts, different things that maybe you've been holding yourself back. Just take a breath in this space. And then allow the energy to rise up to your sacral chakra, which is just above your root chakra, but a little below the belly button, about 2 to 3 fingers below the belly button. And it comes out the front and the back, and it's the color orange. So just see a dial and turn it up and see it getting a little bit brighter with the orange, and brightening and brightening. And it's just cleansing, clearing, and realigning anything that wasn't the right color of orange. We want that nice bright orange in there. That's your creative center. That will help to expand your awareness, help you to be more creative, help you to release all that no longer serves, so that after this class, you'll be inspired to do some really great things. And just allow that energy now. Take a breath and allow it to flow up into your stomach, which is your solar plexus. And this is in the center of your stomach, right above your belly button. This is going to be the color yellow. So think of the sunshine. And just see that dial, and you're going to turn that up. So if you've been worrying or having pains in your stomach, digestion issues, any kind of worries or concerns for other people or yourself, or anxiety, this is where you're going to cleanse, clear, and realign that area. So just imagine that dial being turned clockwise, and it's just going up just a little bit to expand that and awaken it. And just see it getting very bright and bold, like yellow or the sunflowers, a beautiful yellow color. Just sit in that energy and just enjoy being peaceful and calm. And take a breath here. Now I want you to imagine the energy flowing up into your heart chakra, which would be in the center of your chest, in the front and the back. And it's the color of green, like emerald green. It can also be pink, a pale pink. It can be a chartreuse green, or it can even be a fuchsia. So whatever color that is for you, just see it, the dial, and you're going to turn it to the right clockwise, and you're going to see it start to expand in that color. And it's just expanding into the space we're in, expanding into your space. And as you breathe, it expands a little further. Have it expand out a little bit more with each breath. Cleansing, clearing, and realigning anything that's been hurting, anything that's been causing emotional pain, any kind of forgiveness that needs to take place for yourself or for others. This is a good time to just let all that go, so you can just allow it in. Then we're going to move up to the throat chakra, which is right at the throat. And this is the color of the sky blue or a teal. And just see that dial. You're going to turn it up clockwise and just see it start to expand. And this is your clear speaking. So you'll be able to say whatever comes through for the highest and best good. If you need to clear your throat or yawn or cough, this might be a good time to just let that all go. Anything that no longer serves in that area will just flow away. And just take a breath and feel that energy come in through your nose and reach the back of your throat. Just feel that energy, and when you're ready, you can release it with a sigh. Just allow that energy to cleanse, clear, and fall away. Now we're going to bring the energy up to our third eye. And in the third eye, that is between the center of your eyes, right at the bridge of your nose, just a little above. And this is where you see your psychic vision. So you may see like a screen. Sometimes I see a starry night sky. You may see a chalkboard. You may see just something that something could write on. So you may see a movie screen, whatever that is, and that's your mind's eye. And as you turn that up, the color is indigo, and you just start to turn that up a little. And it may not go all the way because you may not be ready to open it yet all the way. So just allow it to go wherever it feels like it needs to go. You may see things that are going to be for the highest and best good. You may hear, you may feel, you may sense and know. So just be aware of whatever comes in. Just be aware of it. You'll remember it. And just allow yourself to open up. You're in a safe place, safe space, sacred space. And just allow whatever comes in for your highest and best good. Allowing all other worries and cares to simply fall away. This area tends to get tense when we think too much, when we're too in our head and not enough in our heart. Just allow that to fall away and be recharged with that beautiful color of indigo. And lastly, we're going to come up to the crown. That is the violet, and that's that beautiful lotus flower. It's already open. So just see that expanding even further, where you're allowing the energies of the spirit world to come in, which would be the angels, our loved ones, guides. We have many guides that come in and want to work with us as well. Tonight, we're probably just going to work with the angels, but if you happen to see a loved one, there's nothing wrong with that either. If you happen to feel a loved one or sense someone that is in the spirit world, they're just coming in to be with you because they think this is really cute and cool, and they're curious just like we are. And so there are no accidents. Everyone's feeling what they're feeling. They're sensing what they're sensing. You may see it, feel it, know it. It can come in many different forms. Just be aware of it. Just breathe in the energy. And then I want you to just be in this space for a moment. You're plugged into source energy, God's energy, whatever you want to call it, the angelic energy. Angel energy feels a little different. It's very tingly. So you're going to start to feel the angelic energy. They're already around us, but you're going to start to feel this energy pour down through your crown, just like a waterfall. So just imagine it coming down through your crown into the top of your head and just flowing through your entire body like waves of this beautiful sparkling light with little hints of gold and iridescence, colors that are not even of this world. Just allow that energy to move through your body. It's very intuitive. It knows exactly where it needs to go. So just allow that energy to move wherever it goes, wherever it flows. Just follow it. Be aware of it. Just continue to cultivate that sense of awareness. Watch where it moves. Pay attention how it moves things out. Remember to breathe. And just allow your body to kind of scan with the energy and feel if there's any other areas in the body that maybe this sparkling light can go into and clear out any residual old junk that you've been holding on to. And to intensify this energy, just think of something you're really grateful for. You can be grateful for your angel. Call in your guardian angel right now. So ask your guardian angel if they will give you their name, and they may give you an actual name. You may get a color, you may feel something. So pay attention to those colors we had in the chakras. You may see a certain color that will represent the energy of that angel. So it can come in thoughts, feelings, emotions. Just be aware, whatever that angel gives you, your guardian angel. Take this time. They're standing in front of you now. If you want to ask them a particular question or have a little conversation with your guardian angel, feel free to do so right now. Just imagine it in your mind's eye. Now that your mind's eye is open, all your chakras are balanced and cleared. The angels are holding your hands. So imagine they just took your hands and you're having the most beautiful conversation. And they're sharing with you whatever it is you need to know for your highest and best good. Sometimes the angels will make us very emotional. It's very normal. If tears come, let them. They're helping you with healing. They're helping you with all kinds of wisdom, knowledge. They're also helping you connect with your soul this evening. And they want to say they're so glad that you're here. And again, you can put your hands out and they're going to give you a gift, another gift. And see what they give you this time. What do you need to know for your highest and best good from the angels? And see what they put in your hand. And once you receive that gift, bring your hands to your heart in gratitude. Just take a breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes, and you can bring yourself back. If you have your journal, feel free to write down whatever it came in so you don't forget it. And does anyone want to share what came in? Or any of their experience, if they had a really cool experience that they think, oh, I want to share this. People love to hear people's stories, so feel free if you want to share. Give you guys a minute or two to write stuff down. When you guys are ready, when you're done writing, just look up so I know everybody's pretty much done. So in the meantime, who here feels that weird energy when you're in the, who here is like really aware of their intuition and like knows when a spirit is here with them or an angel or a loved one? Tiffany said she got a sunset, clouds, blue. I love it. Okay, awesome. So who here feels that energy where they're just super aware that loved ones are with them, angels are with them, guides are with them? Just raise your hand. I think I can see most of you. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Somewhat. Okay, perfect. So that's normal. And some people will know who is there. Some people won't. Perfect. Karen's got her hand up. Awesome. So it's great to know that, but it's very subtle sometimes. And like I was saying, and a lot of times we just don't understand it. So pay attention to like when someone walks up behind you in the food store and you have to do one of these like, ugh, they're in my space. That's what it feels like. It's so subtle, but it's like you can feel their energy is there. So just know that's one way you can tune into the energies that are around you if you're not aware of them. The thing is, you know, our intuition guides us in so many different ways, but a lot of times we're in the mind, right? And the mind is logical, it's analytical. When you're in the mind, you can't be intuitive. It can't be both. So intuitive is feelings. It's all about connecting with your feelings. So I believe everyone here is intuitive in the feeling aspect, but there are, like I said, the other senses, which we're going to get into. Have like we said, the psychic seeing, which is the mind's eye. That's called clairvoyance. So there are 8 clairs. We're only going to go through 4 tonight. The rest of the 8, we're going to be starting in the Multifaceted Soul Society, starting on the 15th. We'll be going into all those and unpacking all of that. So if you guys are enjoying some of this and you're like, oh, I think I'd like to learn some of that, we're going to be sharing more about that at the end, but it's really fun. It's for beginners, and it's just basically we're going to be walking you through some different steps. But I wanted to share a couple little tips to just give you some insight so that you understand what it is you're tapping into. So these clairs are different senses that you have. And so the mind's eye, right where I was saying in between the third eye right here, this is your psychic vision, where you'll see things in that mind's eye. A lot of times when I'm doing a reading, I'll have to stare off at a blank wall. And I explain that to my clients. Like, it's not that I'm being rude. I need a blank space to focus. Some people can close their eyes and see it, but they get their pictures in their mind's eye. Some people will see it that way. That's just very clairvoyant. Also, clairvoyance can be seeing outside the body. So if you're looking at someone and you see an angel actually there, that's very unusual. Most times it's in the mind's eye, but it can be seen. A lot of times I'll be doing a reading and I'll actually see a physical spirit behind the person. It doesn't happen all that often. Most times it's in the mind's eye. So just know that that is clairvoyance. So maybe you've had that. Who here has had clairvoyance? Who here sees who sees dead people? Who sees angels, right? Who sees, right? Who has ever seen that? Has anyone ever seen a spirit person in person? Like spirity looking? It's kind of weird. All right, cool. So when I was a kid, well, actually 21, I was 21. I saw this spirit woman. We were hanging out at my friend's house talking about spirits and angels, because I've been into this since I was like a little person. And I thought it would be really cool. I always thought it was neat. And to see, I was going to bed and this woman showed up at the foot of my bed, scared the living crap out of me. And she was in this like moo and she was like see-through. And I was like, oh, go away, go away, go away. She scared the daylights out of me. And then she left. And I was like, wait, come back. I don't want to talk to you. Because she didn't look scary. But I found out the next day she was my friend's. It was the lady who lived there who passed away in the house. And I was like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. Like, we all have this ability, and that's what intuition is. It's an ability we all have. It's a God-given ability. It's not a special gift, although some people will call it a gift, and that's totally fine. A gift is something that you're born with, like, right? Everybody can learn to play the piano. Some people are born, their abilities are stronger, so they're like, a savant, or they're just more, they're just stronger with that. But anybody can learn. So just like your intuition, anybody can learn to develop these strengths and abilities and be able to tune into different things. So, and like I said, you can use it in a multitude of facets in your life. It doesn't have to be for mediumship or intuition work. It's of things. Here is a feeler, right? We already said that. That's clairsentient, because you're having clear feelings where you're just very in tune to what's going on around you. That's clairsentience. The other one I'm going to share is clairaudient. Who here hears spirit? I think we already said we heard our names called a couple times. So that's clairaudient. And again, you hear it sometimes outside the head. Sometimes you hear it. It's usually, it comes in as a thought, a feeling, or an emotion. You'll hear a thought, a feeling, and an emotion. It's not always a word. So sometimes you'll hear sadness, or you'll hear, hey Lisa, or whatever. Like, you'll hear things. So it's not always what you think, like, well, I didn't hear somebody actually say it to me, but you heard a thought, like, turn left. Who's ever gotten that, right? You're driving down the road and you get this feeling, go left, and you're like, oh, I should have listened. And then there was this big pile up and you're like, I should have went the other way, because you didn't listen to your intuition. That intuition is telling you what you should do. And if you're ever unsure and you're doing something, you're like, I feel like I'm not trusting myself. Take a breath, drop down into your heart, find your soul, right? And put your hand there and just ask your soul. You can always put your hand there and ask your soul, what do I need right now in this moment? You're going to know, you're going to get that intuitive hit, because you're just tuning into what's already there in your soul and you're trusting it. And so the trusting part is hard, but learning to tune into it. And it's not an overnight thing. It's a development. Like I said, I've been doing this since I was probably 5 years old, and I'll explain that to you later. But we don't trust ourselves. And for the longest time, I didn't trust myself. And a lot of times, like I said, fears come up, and confusion, and doubt, self-doubt, right? We start thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I made that up, right? It's not true. It's your imagination is a big part of doing this type of work, or even tuning in with your intuition. But it's definitely, you gain clarity from doing the work and practicing. So the more you work with your intuition, the more you're going to get better at it. The other thing is claircognizance, which is knowing. Who here has had like a knowing or had a dream where you just, got up and you knew something was going to happen, like a premonition, or you just had a knowing that you needed to do something, like maybe come to this class? I don't know. Who here has had that? Yeah? Okay. So that's claircognizance. That's just that knowing that you know without knowing. You just know, and you don't even know how you know, you just know. So that's what that is. When I was little, we had this crazy basement with these stairs, and it was like 15 steps, and there was a landing and another 15. We had a basement that was unfinished, and my mom used to do hair down there, and we had a back cellar, and in the back cellar, like going down the steps, there was like this laundry chute that was scary. Like, I don't know, it was always like a little room that went into the back cellar, and my dad had all his like hunting guns and all that stuff, and it kind of freaked me out back there, but it was just part of our basement. But we played in the front where she did the salon, right, where she had the hair. And we would be down there playing. But I'll tell you, if you came up the steps and somebody shut the light off and you couldn't get up there fast enough, you would feel somebody, like I was saying at the food store, you know how like that energy coming up behind you? I couldn't get up the steps fast enough as a little kid. And I kept thinking, oh my God, I know somebody's there. It was a knowing. And I thought, oh, this is freaky. I just know there's somebody there. I wish they would communicate. So me being the inquisitive little kid that I was, and I hope you all are very inquisitive, or at least if you were, bring that little person back out, because she is definitely, or he, if you're seeing this in the replay, is definitely, you know, needing to connect with yourself again. And so I, being who I was, I knew my dad had these big legal pads, and I grabbed a pen, and I was like 6 years old, maybe 7. I was in first grade because I remember I could print, and I wrote, "To the people under the stairs, I know you're real." You know, I called them the people behind, you know, the people in the basement or whatever, something. And I said, "The people under the stairs, I know you're real. I can feel you. I know you're here. What are your names and why are you here?" And I left the pen, and I was so excited because I thought, oh my God, they're going to answer me. I was so excited. So I leave the pen. We had this little slip lock thing that my dad had hidden in the closet. So I went and got the little lock, and my bedroom was right off the basement. So it was like probably 8 o'clock at night. I didn't think my parents would go down there, but I locked the door and I slept with the key under my pillow. And I was like, nobody's going down there but me. I'm going to check for this. This is what, honest to God. And so of course I get up in the morning and I'm super excited. It's like 5 a.m. and I'm like, oh my God, let me see. Maybe they wrote me back. And so I opened the door, and they don't have physical hands. There was nothing there. I was so devastated. And I'm like, oh, I was like, no, maybe they're not real. And so then I started doubting myself for years. So angels, spirits, loved ones, whatever I was feeling, I knew what I was sensing back at 5, 6 years old. And I really think now, looking back, they were my guides. They were the angels. I think it was my loved ones. I think I just didn't understand. And that fear kept everything so far away from me. And once I realized, as I got older and reawakened to this and realized, wow, it's really just your intuition. And then I was like, I want to develop this, you know, and then things moved forward because I would set intentions. The right people showed up. The right teachers showed up. I've trained with people from all around the globe, different tutors from over in England, which this is a really normal thing over there. Here, it's still becoming more well-known. Because I couldn't find what I was looking for, I decided to create it for everyone here, people who are in our community. But you know, I just want to share with you guys that, you know, we all have this intuition from little kids. And if you think back, who here has had an experience with like an imaginary friend, or you probably felt something like that too, right? Did anybody else feel anything like that when you were a kid? Like you just knew something was there, right? Yeah. So yeah. And I talked to my cousins who also used to play in the basement with me. And now that we're older, I'm like, did you ever feel that? They're like, oh my God, I felt that too, but I didn't know I could tell anybody. I was like, okay, so I'm not the only weird one. All right, this is normal, right? So then people start to realize it is a very normal thing. That's just really important to share so people know that they're not crazy, and it's just really tapping into your intuition. You're going to be receiving a bonus. I'm going to be sharing a link with you for our community. And I wanted to ask you guys first, from what we did so far, what was your biggest takeaway? I would love to hear if you want to unmute and put it in the chat. What was your biggest takeaway from learning about your intuition? Just this little bit, because it's just really, I wanted to keep it kind of simple so that you could just learn some basics and just understand what intuition was and how you're tapping into it, your clairs, different things like that. Who would like to share? Come on, don't all jump at once. Go ahead, Joanne.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that, running after the people from the basement, because I've had that since I was a child too, and thinking it was just the fear of what could be there. But now knowing, because I have this thing about someone under the bed, and I still have it as an adult, but when I was young, my brother used to scare me, and he would hide under the bed and grab my feet. And the funny thing is, now I know that's probably him, that he's in he has passed. So it's become stronger since he's gone. But it's good to know that, you know, tuning into those intuitions, that those are people trying to communicate with you. Yeah. And you're not going crazy. It's normal. Yes. And I think that's so important. So people should know that, because it's really, you know, that was a big thing for me. And here's the thing, if I would have said, if my dad found that letter and would have said, you know, he would have wrote on there, and people who know my dad, Irene, he would have been like, this is the boogeyman and it's not real. And he would have totally made fun of me, which he did for years. When I learned how to develop all this, I was totally made fun of. He would go, oh, you do Reiki? Here, let me get you a rake. And I'm like, really? It's not funny, you know? So like, really, you need support when you're trying to learn and develop all of this. So it's really important. Trust messages, confirm. Perfect.
Yeah. And so thank you for sharing that, Joanne. I think it's really important that other people hear that too, that it's not just me going through that, because I know other people have, and maybe everyone's not sharing, but I think it's really worth hearing. So I know Tiffany, thank you for sharing though. Tiffany, you had your hand up too, and then I'm going to come to Susan. Go ahead and share. I would love to hear.
Sure. I just want to say that I had the same feeling that someone was behind me getting up those stairs. I do have to share this. My son said the same thing to me literally within the last week. And I chuckled and thought, well, you should have been in my basement, because my basement was a lot scarier than yours.
I love it. I love it.
It's just, so it's neat to, because I've always thought he was connected too. So it's just neat to know that he's experiencing this, and it really isn't that fear that we had. We were actually feeling it. My takeaway is with my intuition is to trust it, and to not second guess myself. And when I'm giving these physical signs, to know that those signs are there to help me confirm that I am on my right journey, and to take those signs as a blessing and just say thank you. So that would be my biggest takeaway with intuition.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. And I think it's really important to share all that too. And I love also, now Tiffany is in our community. And so Tiffany, I love that you already have some training under your belt. So now that you have your son who's coming up in the world and he's like seeing this, isn't it much easier than to be able to help him as to where you were? Because I know, and I hope it's okay that I share this, and let me know. I wanted to share about when you first came to us about the fear. There was a lot of fear. She was like, well, I want to join, but I'm so afraid that I don't want to bring any of this back to my family. I'm like, there's nothing scary. Like, was there anything scary tonight? It's not scary at all, right? You tuned into yourself and you're just connecting with your soul. And that's really what your intuition is. You're listening to that, and mediumship's a little bit different, but it's the basics of beginner intuition. That's the beginning of it. And let me just tell you, when I realized I could do this, like when I was a kid, I thought it was super neat. And then to learn later on, I went to a medium who actually had a class similar to this. And I thought, oh, wow. And we did this exercise, which I'm going to have you guys do. And it was so much fun. And it was just like, wow. And as soon as I was done, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. Now, maybe everyone doesn't feel that way, but just being able to tap into your intuition is huge. But I came home and we had bought a hair salon, my mom and I, like 2 years prior. I came back and the next day I go, that's it. I want to sell the salon. I want to be a medium. I want to help people with healing. I want to do this. And she's like, Lisa, we can't just sell the salon. And that's when 2000, the big crash happened in 2008. And it was like, oh no. So I had to stay a little longer, but yeah. So then I finally transitioned over, but so anyone can tap in, and there's that ability. So I love, Tiffany, that you can nurture him in that, and he's not going to be scared like you were. And now, being that you've been through our community, fear is like, you realize now that's not real. But isn't it interesting to look back at what you shared when you first came on? If you want to just share a little bit about that, I would love to hear that.
Sure. When I first came, I was afraid because I felt like I didn't want to bring anything negative upon myself, or if I had a negative experience, that it would follow me into my household. In all honesty, that was a true fear of mine, and that's just because I think along the way we've all had different run-ins, and I just felt since being with Lisa and with everyone else here that it really is a very open community where you're able to be honest, and there really isn't room for that negativity to even exist, so it's not there. And that's how you describe fear in all actuality. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it really, fear is not real. And if you can just send love to it, like what we fear most times, just like those people behind me on the stairs, like I was scared of them at first. I knew they were there, but I was still scared because I was like, I can't get up there fast enough. But the thing is, if I would have just turned around and been like, I love you, they probably would have just dissolved and it would have just been love. You know what I mean? So, but you don't know that. And I actually had to teach myself to pray and wake up, because I would have these nightmares and I would wake up then go, and I believe in the Father and Son, Holy Spirit. And then it would just dissolve and go away. And then I realized after the fact, it was my loved ones coming through. And then when I finally started developing all this, they came through and really communicated with me. But I was like, wow, why didn't you tell me it was you? You freaked me out. So it's just really interesting the way that the intuition is just a little baby spark or a step that's opening your mind, opening your heart and opening your soul. And it's just a way to connect it. And I think it's really cool. So I would love to do a little exercise with you guys.
Susan wanted to say something as well.
Sure, go ahead, Susan. Page 2. So, all right, go ahead, let's share.
You would like this. When you were telling about you were doing the ice cube thing, two people came and stood over my shoulder, one behind each shoulder. And one behind my right shoulder was my father's father, my paternal grandfather. He leaned in real close to the screen to see who you were, to see what you were talking about, and if he was okay with it. I'm not sure. He didn't say anything. My grandfather in life would have made all kinds of remarks, but he didn't say anything. So I felt like he was giving me the okay. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure who the other person was. It could have been my dad, but he was very quiet and just watching. But I got the okay from Pappy Miller.
I love it. Did you see him or did you just feel it?
I just had that knowing, I knew it was him.
That's awesome. Did anybody else have an experience like that where they felt a loved one come in while we were doing any of this? And if you didn't, it's okay. Because a lot of times this is very new. So this is a lot to take in. I just kind of giving you a little bit of everything so you can kind of feel it. And then just, if you want to dive further, we're going to go into that. But our little exercise, I just want to explain a couple things. What we teach in the community. So like I said, I'm an evidential psychic medium. I'm able to help people connect, and I support them, I guide them, I nurture them. People who are intuitives and empaths like yourself. And I help them let go of fear, self-doubt, the feelings of being alone and not fitting in. And I help them find clarity and confidence. And I help them get connected with the spirit world and with an awesome community where we're supported, where we're seen, nurtured, loved. You're never alone, because it sucks. Like being a kid, it sucked being alone. And I struggled with that for a long time. Even in this work, stepping into doing this kind of work, I held myself back because I was like so scared to put myself out there because I didn't have the support. For 10 years, I practiced with every client that sat in my chair as my hair salon. And I was like, hey, you guys know I'm a developing, intuitive medium. Would you like me to read you? And they're like, yeah. So it was great. I had tons of people to practice on and they loved it, but I kind of didn't have a support group. And that's what I realized, and I've always wanted to be global. And so now that we're online and after this COVID mess, I was able to pull all this together and it came together really nicely. And so what's awesome about this is we have the art and the etiquette of learning how to develop your intuition, because it's not just develop and then go give messages to people. There's a whole etiquette in it, and it's a lifelong process of learning. I am sharing with everyone tonight. The offer is right now we have a community. Last year we had one course where we ran through 7 stages, which we did it in 7 weeks, I think. It was really intense. They were long classes, and I realized this time around, I wouldn't break it up, make it a little shorter classes, easier to digest. And rather than get it all done in 7 weeks, let's spread it out a little longer, maybe make it 14 weeks, and do it every other week so it gives people time to learn and then implement. So you don't have to show up for all the classes, but we do have lots of things going on in the community. Everything, we have a login portal so people can log in and see what classes they need to watch. It's kind of like the buffet, right? We have a ton of stuff. You pick and choose what you like, and you come to what you want to come to. We have one night where we do the classes, which are live and you learn. The next night we have a practice. So that's you learn what you learn, and then you come and you practice. And that's a great way to develop the intuition. And the more you sit and develop, which is what we're going to do in a few minutes, you'll learn about that and to discover more things about yourself. More facets of yourself will open up, and you'll become stronger in your own intuition and your own soul. And so that's one of the things. So we have 7 stages, and I'm just going to share them with you. I sent them in the PDF so you can kind of check along with me if you'd like. So the first one is, I call it hope, right? Because people are looking for connection. They want to find support and a group. And to me, it's you're not hopeless, but you're looking for that connection. And to me, it's the connection of hope. And we're like little seeds. This stage, I like to think of it as a sunflower, right? So this is the stage where, you're coming in and you're just this little seed of a sunflower, which on the back, this was so tiny, I had to print it out in 2 big pieces. So thank you to Kath for helping me. Seeds of possibility, that's where you are when you first start, right? And you're coming in with hope. And so you found this great community and you're like, oh, I think I might want to check them out. The next stage, so we go through that and you're coming in. The next stage is about setting boundaries, because who here is an empath is not very good with setting boundaries. People walk all over them, and you talk to somebody, and by the time you're done, they're like, you're so amazing, you listen to all my problems. They leave you and you're like, right? You're totally drained because you let them suck the life out of you like a vampire, and they don't mean to, they mean well, but we don't know how to boundary ourselves or have healthy boundaries. And so what we teach in this is learning how to develop those intuitive boundaries. Whether you want to do mediumship like me, or whether you just want to develop your intuition, this is for either or. It's not like you have to become doing this for your whole life. This is just an idea to connect into yourself. Boundaries, I call it unlocking the light within, because it's unlocking that soul within your body that helps you to be intuitively tuned in. So you know when those energy vampires come, you have tools that you can use that will go, oh, okay, that's going to protect me there. This is going to do this. If I put this in place and get anchored, this is going to help me here. So there's some little things we share there. And we have stage 3, which is all about confidence. And so confidence is going to help you to learn about your intuitive development a little bit more. You're going to be reaching new heights. So you're kind of like the sunflower, and you've had the seed, you've been planted, you're growing a little, and you're reaching new heights. You're really starting to reach up, and you're kind of stepping outside that box, right? You're coloring outside the line, right? You're not being told you have to stay in the line. You're kind of expanding in different directions, and you're trying new things. You know, some of our people, just as an example, Joanne is in our community, and Joanne, I'm just going to have you share. She is an artist, and she has been wanting to use her development in her artistic work. And so she's partnering her intuitive mediumship ability with her artwork. And Joanne, how are you doing that? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the tool that we will be creating.
How are you trying to do that? What's your thought?
Well, it's part of the class. I'll just give a little bit of a snippet, and it's basically tuning in and coming up with symbols, and then what the symbols represent, and putting them on cards or little wood chips and using them in your practice.
Interesting. So so being that she's an artist, she's going to help us develop these intuitive ruins or cards. We're going to kind of come up with a little idea. So I love that. And so being that she's artistic as well, when somebody commissions a painting, you probably use your intuition for that as well, right? Would you say?
Definitely.
So it's a nice way to partner different things. I was going to have my cousin share, but she's not here tonight. She is a doctor of pharmacy. She uses her intuition in her practice all the time. She's working with pharmacy students. She's like, I know who I need to work with and how I need to work with them. I tune in if something is like a heavier energy. I know I need to use certain tools, especially my essential oils, she'll tell me. And she'll go and get certain oils that she knows will work best for her that day. So she knows what to use. Different ways that you can use that. So that's where you're in that stage 3, you're gaining new heights and gaining confidence. Now, stage 4 is developing and diving deeper into that unfoldment process. And it's the unfoldment of your soul. So you're developing that process of trust. So a lot of times we say, oh yeah, I trust myself. But then when it comes down to it, you don't. Because when you go to give, share your messages, and when you're going to tune into each other, we think, oh, people are going to judge me, blah, blah, blah. But that self-doubt, this is where you're building that up, and it takes time. It's not something that's overnight and done. Most of the people in our community have been with us for a year now. And so we're going on our 2nd year. Decided to open the doors again and just open this up for people so other people could learn too. And we go into is stage 5, which is all about connection. And this is really going to get you connected with angels, your guides, your love. You're going to get to know who they are, have conversations with them. You're going to get to know them like if they were sitting here and you were having a cup of coffee. It's pretty awesome. Connection point where you apply the abilities, you get crystal clear clarity, and you're going to have that awesome connection. It happens in level 5, and it's kind of like going off to see the wizard. As I was starting today, I kept hearing, you're going off to see the wizard. So that was pretty awesome. Thank you, Linda. Did this to look like this, the golden path, because that's where your soul's path. It's going to help you move forward in all aspects of your life. So this area is about clear clarity and connection. 6 is mastery. So mastery is 10,000 hours. I'm going to master anything in a week or 2 weeks. It's going to take some time to get into that space. But as you step in and you start to develop, the more you do it, you're going to master things. I've been doing this since I was 5, right? And then I pushed it away for a while, came back when I was probably 12. Didn't really work out then. And then I came back again at 21, and I was like, okay, now I'm really into all this. And I focused on it. But it wasn't until I was probably 36 that the doors opened back up again. And then the spirit people, you know, started really coming in. And then I started understanding by developing this. So it's a process. It takes time, but it doesn't have to be hard. Stage 6 in mastery, the more you practice and develop, the better you're going to get at it. And building a strong foundation in anything, especially your intuitive abilities, is going to help you, like I said, in all aspects of life. And the 7th stage is stage of joy. And to me, it's like we all go back to being like little kids again. And that's really what, think about it. When you're having the most fun, you're out doing something that you love, you go into your heart, you drop down from your head into your heart, whether it's bike riding or, you know, maybe some people love going to the beach, or maybe you love doing a certain exercise or something that you do that brings, think about what it is that brings you joy. And think about if you could do that all the time and money was no object, right? That's what being like a little kid is. You just go back to that place of being like that 5-year-old and just having fun. And that's what doing this type of work, and when you're connected with the intuition, you feel like you're there. It's just kind of part of what it's all about. If anybody is interested in joining us, I'm going to put a link in the comments, all the links to all the things that we shared. Also going to send it out in an email. So I'll get it to you as soon as we end. So if you do register, free bonus on there, which is a trance healing session. And I want to explain to you what that is. Has anyone ever heard of trance healing? Ever heard of trance healing before? Healing, okay, really interesting. It's not scary or anything like that, but if you've ever done any type of spiritual healing or Reiki or anything like that, trance healing is a little different. I'm trained in cert healer. I'm also a spiritual healer. I studied up in Lilydale, which is a whole town of psychics and mediums in upstate New York. And I studied for a couple years. Actually, Kylie was there with me as well. And so we did a spiritual healing class and trained. I've been training now for trance healing, which is allowing the spirit to come in through you and moving you in energy, and you're basically like a channel for spirit. So I did a video, I believe we shared it in one of the communities, and I click on that link and register for it, the free trance healing, and it's great. I think Susan, you had done did you do the trance healing? Or did you do that? You did the tapping, I think you said. So, okay. So I know a lot of people had healing. There's actually a testimonial once you fill that out, you'll just put your email in, you'll get the video with the trance healing. You can watch it at your own time. And it's just sending energy. And I just want you to tap into your body and just intuitively, just like you did with the tapping, feel where you start on the scale of 1 to 10, and then see where you end and see if it goes up or down. It should go down to lower it, depending on that, because you cannot really see where you're at. But just pay attention to how your body feels after the healing and see if there's any place in your body that felt pain and see a difference. So that's going to help you to understand that. Then also the whole community, all the information will be in there. You can read about it. There's a video and a lot of testimonials from everybody in our community. Questions, let me know. We will be doing a Q&A. I'm not going to everything you're going through or what you experienced, and if there's anything you wanted to share. So since you all stayed till the end, I still want to do a quick exercise and then we're going to get going. But since you all stayed till the end, I'm going to do full moon is the 11th. So I don't know who's available. And if you're not, don't worry, I'll get you the replay. But on the 11th this month, which tomorrow, full moon is tomorrow at 9:36, I think. So we're going to do a full moon meditation. We're going to do it right around the full moon. I haven't picked the exact time, but we'll probably do it around like 7:30 or 8, maybe right around this time. Maybe interested, you can come and join us live. You're getting the healing. It's a great time with the full moon to let go of things. It's a great time to manifest. What you want to manifest will let go of anything that no longer serves you. It's just a great time to just do a nice little, maybe 20-minute meditation and just put you into a really good place to receive. If you have crystals, great little tip, you can put them out on your windowsills and the full moon energy will cleanse your crystals. It's really awesome. But you can also bring them with you. It'll intensify your meditation. So we're going to do a quick little exercise. I want everybody to tune in to what you feel. And I want you to go back to thinking about where you were in the chakra system. So remember, we went through the colors. Red was at the base. Orange was right here at the solar plexus or sacral chakra. Then we have yellow in the middle. Think of Roy G. Biv. We have green in the heart, blue at the throat, and then we have indigo at the third eye, and then violet at the top. So just kind of tune into the person's energy. You may hear colors, you may see colors, you may feel things, you may sense a name of someone. Whatever comes to you, you're going to feel like you're making it up. You're so going to feel like you're making it up. You can, if you want to just tune into whatever you feel, you don't have to give a reading or anything like that. You're just tuning into their energy. You're just kind of connecting in with the person you're going to pair with. So you want to just say hello to them. You want to just say, okay, you know, I'm just going to tune in and see what you're about. And then I'm just going to pick up a few things and maybe you'll just sense it. So like, I'll give an example. Let me see, who do I not know? Okay, Karen, I'm going to pick up on you because I can't see you. So even tune into Karen. I do know Karen, but I'm going to tune into her. I haven't seen her in a few weeks, see what I'm feeling. So I'm just putting my hands out because that's how I feel energy. You may feel it, you may see it, you may sense it, just using your different feelings. Feel like if I were scanning her body, right? And just feeling what I feel. And I feel, there's a little bit of I feel like right here, I feel like nervous, like there's a little nervousness in your chest area. Like I feel like there's a little anxiety or like I just feel like I want to take a big breath, but you're kind of holding yourself back. If that makes sense, put it in the chat and just let us know. And you don't have to pick up a lot of stuff. I'm just curious what you pick up. And interesting, I hear the name Susan around you too. I don't know if Susan is someone in the living or in spirit, but I do hear the name Susan, and maybe it's a friend of yours. I don't know. Like someone with the name Susan or a strong S, and it's not you, Susan. So I'm just going to share that and just picking that up. And the color red, favorite color of yours, but I just got the feeling of the color red. It's like I feel like there's a connection with like it would be your favorite color. So if that makes sense to Karen, do you understand that, Karen? So we'll just see if she's on here to come in the chat. Or if you want to unmute and just talk, that's fine too. I just would love to hear what you're saying. In the meantime, does anybody else want to try? I'm not even going to tell you who you have to partner with. Are you feeling drawn to anyone intuitively? Because it's kind of fun to just go, oh, I feel this around you, or, you know, and there's no right or wrong. You're just kind of tuning in. And we're in a safe place, so nobody's judging you because we're all here going, oh my God, she's going to call on me. Oh my God. Like, no, don't be nervous. Just have fun. It's really about lifting your vibration and having fun. Just take a deep breath. Go ahead, Paige. Who are you feeling drawn to? It says her cousin Susie. Okay, hold on. Let me read her real quick. Hold that thought, Paige. Susie, daughter of my favorite Aunt Fanny. I like pink around my heart. Okay. Been anxious around upcoming. Okay, so I do knew you were having a knee replacement, but I didn't think of that. Getting everything done. I did feel like like you needed to breathe here though. Like it just, you know, you were holding on to an anxiety. So, okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that, Karen. Okay, Paige, go ahead. Who were you feeling drawn to?
I'm having such a hard time trying to find the chat on here, trying to figure out how to unmute. I can't figure it out. But so I was drawn to Tiffany, and I seen a smiley face.
Okay.
And then the color blue, and that's all.
Okay. Does that mean anything to you, Tiffany?
Thank you. I needed a smile. So I really do appreciate that. I think that the blue, yes, I've been sitting here, so I was able to watch the sunset. So there was a lot of blue in front of me this past time. And I think I'm smiling. Because I had a really nice day with my son. We went fishing for about an hour. So I was by the lake. That's another blue reference. And he caught fish. So it was just nice to ground it, be within myself, and not have any other worries that were going on, just being present with me and him. But thank you for saying smiling face, because I needed that. I needed to pick me up.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Good job. Good job. So is anybody else feeling anybody else? Just curious. And if you're not, it's okay. Joanne, go ahead.
I'm sensing with Paige something about the Statue of Liberty, but also like the ocean and a lot of sunshine, and just feeling a sense of joy around you, like a lot of sparkles and sunlight. That's what I'm feeling right now.
And does that make anything to you? What is the Statue of Liberty? Does that mean anything to you?
I don't know. At first I could see it, and then I wondered if it was her t-shirt that sort of referenced towards it. So it kind of threw me off.
Interesting.
But also freedom. I'm thinking freedom is coming to me. Freedom, feeling free, feeling But attachment to water, like a lot of water and sunshine and a lot of sparkles around the sunshine.
Would that fit for you, Paige? Are you feeling free these days?
I've been like in a really, really good, like, just in a really good space, like having like a lot of gratitude. I'm coming up on a year of sobriety, and I just feel like there's like a lot of really good stuff like about to come my way. So yeah, that totally resonates.
Are you going on a trip somewhere? I feel like you're moving, or you're going on a trip like somewhere.
Not that I know
Okay.
of.
You'll have to hang on to it. Maybe it's coming up and you don't know about it yet. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you never know. So I'm going to have everybody do something a little different. So this card that I'm holding up, on the other side, I want you guys to tune into it. It might be a little easier than tuning into a person. And just whatever comes to you, thoughts, feelings, emotions, designs, colors, whatever comes in, just start saying whatever it is, and just unmute and just kind of say whatever you're feeling. And don't look at this side. You're looking at this side, but it's going to be the back side. So
Pinks and hearts.
Pinks and hearts. Okay, who else is getting something? I'll try to hold it so you guys can see it. So just tune in like as if you were able to see through it and you're imagining what's there, and let it just drop in, like go into the heart, and just allow whatever comes in to hear it, see it, feel it, know it.
To receive.
To receive. Okay. So pinks and hearts, to receive. Who else is getting some stuff? How about you, Irene? What are you picking up?
Reds, orange, sunsets.
Reds, orange, and sunset. Okay. How about you, Irene? Oh, you're muted. I can't unmute. How about you, Susan? Why she's unmuting?
Purple and the letter V.
Purple and the letter V. Okay. How about you, Kylie and Karen? And you guys picking up anything here?
Getting like a happy family tarot card. Happiness.
Okay. Happy family tarot card. Happiness. All right. So go ahead, Irene. What are you getting?
I just see like the nativity. I see the spirits. That's all.
The nativity. Okay. The spirits.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys picking up any colors? I know a couple of you gave colors.
No, just the blue.
Think of your, okay, blue. So you said no, but then you said just the blue. So think of the chakra colors. Did everybody give a color? I think everybody gave a color, right? All right. And Karen, I know you can't talk, but if you can chat it, I don't know if she put it in the chat. Let's see. Light and crystals. Okay. So she said that. I'm going to share with you what it is, and we're going to see what you guys got. So it was the heart chakra. Who said hearts? Paige?
I did.
Okay. And so no pinks, but who said red? Reds. Okay, Joanne. And so the answer that you seek is in your heart right now. Be open to giving and receiving love. There's greens. Who else said? I think you said greens. Anybody? I thought there was greens. What else did you guys say? Just refresh me. So who feels like they got that? Like they were getting pieces from it. You might not have got the whole thing, but the fact that Paige was the closest with the heart, you said heart, and it was the heart chakra, which was really interesting. Who else was picked? What did you guys all say? Tiff, did you say one? I don't even know if you gave one.
I did. I said to receive.
To receive. Okay, and so the heart chakra would be receiving. That would be the area where we receive. Susan, what did you say?
I said purple, but V now, I think it was victory. And to me, she looks like
a warrior, right?
Victory. Yeah.
Yeah, she really does. So yeah, so you could take it for whatever it is. It doesn't have to be exactly. So Irene saw blue. Now I don't see any blue there, but it could just be that you're just tuning into it. So there is no right or wrong, so don't beat yourself up. A lot of times blue is the throat chakra. So maybe, opening the heart will allow the throat to, it could be a message for you. Opening the heart allows the throat to be able to speak. Who else? What did you get, Kylie?
I said happy family.
Happy family. So the heart is a happy family. You know what I mean? It's used in different areas. It's, we can't make it stretch, but as far as the intuition, I just wanted to share with you guys that, You can try this with a deck of cards. It's really, really fun. A regular deck of playing cards. And it's a really great intuitive exercise. You can go through and do red, black, and you can say it before you pull it out. So have the deck, before you flip it, red or black. If every one you get right, put in one pile, and every one you get wrong over here, and see how many times. I do it a lot, and it'll actually train your brain to become more intuitive, to be more aware. And just keep going through and like red, black, and you'll get which ones they are before you even pull it out. You'll actually have a feeling, and you can tap in and train yourself to do that. So it's pretty cool. So much for staying on. You guys did great. I think just tuning in and just playing around. Did everybody enjoy this? And what was everybody's biggest takeaway? I would love to hear that. So unmute and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. Go ahead, Paige.
I really liked how you did this soul, like scanning your body for your soul. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? What was your takeaway? Kylie, what was your takeaway? I'm curious.
It was good. My biggest takeaway is to see how much you have grown as a teacher. Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
But good. I like the angel stuff. I like the chakra balancing stuff. Excellent. Very good.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Karen said she enjoyed the chakra cleansing, so that was awesome. Irene, what was your biggest takeaway? To trust you as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. I learned a lot about opening up to learn the chakras, that what they do. You know, I enjoyed that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How about you, Susan? What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I worked with you a long time ago, years ago, and what I learned tonight is it really is like the whole bicycle thing. You know, even if you don't use it or realize you're using it, you can come back through being taught again, and it's all still there. It's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like you never forget how to ride your bike. You're absolutely right. That's a great analogy, and it is always there, and it's just tapping back into it and just reawakening that, but not having to go through it alone. Because if I would have kept on the way I was alone, it took me years. That's Kylie over here. You need to step into this. She was asking me to put this community together like 6 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't comfortable because I didn't know that I'd have the support. And until I put it out there and said, hey, who wants to join? And then all these awesome people showed up, and we just went with it. And even now, we're starting this again. And we have, and I want to share this with you too, we have the course and the community, which eventually are going to be two separate things. So I will share, everybody who started with us originally had a very low founding members price because I was just starting and nothing was together. Now that it's together, we have a lot in our portal and the community, but we have the course and we have the community. And eventually they're going to be two separate entities. Right now, we're giving it to you for one. So everything is going to be whatever you come in with at that price, you're going to stay that price forever as long as it keeps going up. And when they separate, you're always still going to get both. You're always going to be part of both. You're grandfathered into the entire thing because you're still starting out with us. It's still the beginning because we're still growing in this, which is awesome. And I love that we're a very tight-knit community. Everybody supports one another. Good night, Irene. So if you know anybody who this can help, definitely keep this in mind. I want you to share it with your friends because I think people really need to hear about this and they don't even know we exist because we are so small. It's nice to get in when you're small because then you feel really supported and then you can just step into helping others. Goes through and hashtags and tags me and writes, you know, how much fun they had at this class and why your friends need to be in it. You can post one of my posts. You can share one of my posts with the link. Give this away on the 15th. We're going to see who shares the most. Paige, you're going to get a Brave just because you were the one that was the closest with the heart tonight. So thank you. See all of your smiling faces. Thank you. And it's great to see your smiling face too, Miss Kylie. Great to see you. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I really appreciate it. And like anybody who wants to do the encore, I'm going to share that. Or if you have questions, reach out. The next 24 hours, if anybody does sign up, you're going to get a free one-on-one mini coaching with me, like a strategy session to see how this community could best support you with your intuitive work moving forward and what I could do to help you. So 24 hours. So that's all that's good for. This will go until then the doors will close and we don't know when we will reopen again. I'll be sharing all this in an email. Great evening. Thank you guys for showing up. And I'm really grateful for all of you. Thanks for the sunflower. You made my night by coming on. Thanks, guys. Bye.